Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Abdulrahman Gilal, and in this short video, I will try my best to explain you that how to collect input from user during runtime. So what I mean from using runtime, for instance, that so far we have understood that every time we wanted to manipulate our output, we have to manipulate the source code. So this is something that we cannot make program dynamic. This is making program static. So there are two keywords that you should remember if you're working in programming languages. So the one is called static and another one is called dynamic. So the static means to say that you have everything that is not changeable during runtime, and dynamic means that you can change during runtime. So these two words, remember, static and dynamic. So dynamic means we can change during runtime. So runtime changing is only possible when we work with interacting with user most of the time, right? So let's try to see like what we have so far understood, that this program that we can see on the screen is the program that we learned in the previous video, that this program will just help us to print the table of any number. For example, right now it's 5. So if I wanted to print it, let's say that if I run it, this looks pretty fine. This works until like from 5 to 10. This is absolutely okay. But what if I wanted to change it to make it dynamic? So I have to learn that how to collect data from user during runtime. So once again, dynamic means changing right here at this console. So let me just quickly make up a file. So I wanted to say user input program, which means that I'm going to work with a user input program. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just copy this so that we don't have to code anything that is already there. So that's just a basic ones. Okay. So this is okay. So table is there. That's perfectly fine variable. That is because we know that the numbers like maximum we will print on, 127 for the kids. So the first thing that we have to remember that you have to call a class called scanner. So you're gonna see like you have already notification java.util.scanner. So if you're using IntelliJ, it's gonna be automatic. But if you're using some other IDEs, so maybe there is not possible to comment automatically. But let's say like how it comes. So here you have to give your name that you basically want to assign to this scanner. So it's gonna be the object name. So I'm gonna say like, just follow the instruction right now, because we have not learned what is the how to create a class, what are the predefined classes, but we just know that this class is there. So if you see, this is public final class scanner, that is already there. And a simple text scanner which parse primitive types and string using regular expressions. So right now we have to just simply copy it. So we're gonna say like, okay, you remember that when you say scanner, so this is constructor, and then we're gonna say like system.in. So S should be capital because Java is a case sensitive. Remember that you cannot change it. So now this is scanner is gonna take any value that during console time. So one thing that will come up now, you're gonna see up here, it's automatically there. I didn't write it, but if you do not have this automatically coming up there, so you have to do like import java.util.scanner. So this will help you to import this library, because that's not the predefined one. So it is basically imported from other places. So now here is the number. So first thing that you should know that if you think that you are going to ask a user to give you input, so you have to instruct the user using some output methods. So let's say I'm going to say, please enter the number, the table number. Let's say this is simple as that. So it's the same thing. Println will bring it to the next line, but let's say, and here 5 is already there. So what you're gonna do? So the specific way is that you have this name called scan, that is yours. You write a scan and then you put dot operator. This membership operator will bring you so many things. So you don't have to worry right at the moment. You have to remember that what type of variable are you working on? You're working on byte type of variable. So you should see the compiler will automatically recommend you next byte. So you just click on next byte. So next is this, and then byte should be B capital, and then that's perfectly fine. So let's run it and see like how it appears. So now here, please enter the table. So let's say I say 5 and I enter. So that is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? That I did not change anything. I have no 5 here, but I asked user to give me. So as soon as user gave me, I simply, how to say, I simply printed in any way that I wanted to do. That's the beauty of variables, that you basically take it and you can use it. So now let's run it again. And next time another kid came and he said, I am weak in 8 of table of 8, and hit enter, and there you go. So you have complete table of 8. This makes perfectly, amazing output, and it makes me feel a bit excited that, okay, I can pass it. So let's say if you remember, I assigned you a task that you were supposed to pass the information. So let's say a user information program, right? So this is my user information program. I'm gonna make it public, static void, and then I'm gonna say main, and then a string, and then if just like this. So let me quickly start writing. So now you have to remember that I told you that in order to take the information, what are the things that you need? For instance, I need a name. So I'm gonna say name is not singular word. So I say username or your name, whatever. And then I'm gonna say mobile numbers. So you wanted to keep mobile in a string or whatever. So you're gonna keep in a string as you like mobile number, and then you wanted to keep the age. So age better is that you keep in byte. What do you think? Because byte is a good number. A man can live until, let's say, 127 years. It's going to be too old, in fact. So let's say the age. So that's 3 variables I'm trying to detect. Okay, so now the first thing I have to do is scanner and scan, and then new and scanner and system.in. This is what I have to write. As soon as I write, now my scanner is ready. So the first thing now I have to ask the user, let's say, name. Previously, what we learned is that we asked user, we asked user, we enter username into the source code, which means this file, that is a Java file. That's not a practice. That's not a good practice. It makes the program static. So let's say for how many people you will be asking, exactly the same thing, and then you change the code. So make it dynamic so everybody comes and they use their program in their way. So let's say mobile number. So let's make it like this, and then you say user age, let's say. Okay, so everything is there. Now you have to start storing storing the things. Let's say I'm say scanner. So first of all, when you take the name where you're gonna store, so you're gonna store in here. So now here you can take next line, because a string is a complete line. So it's better that you call next line. And then for number, mobile number, so you're gonna say like mobile number equals to, it is also in numerics, oh sorry, in a string, so better should be like this. And then you have age, so you're gonna say like scan dot next byte is better, right? Because we have byte as a variable. So that's it. And now, so you have this all. Now you wanted to print. So you're gonna say username is, then here you put this username, right? So username. And then you have this copy paste, and then a user mobile number is user mobile number. If you write username, it will just bring username. So better you bring it user, sorry, mobile number, not user mobile number. So you have to be careful in terms of calling variables. If you forget to call the right variable, so it will bring the value from somewhere, from other variables, because compiler does not know the logic. So this is called your logic. And if you have any error, that's called, because it's going to be logical error. If you miss the semicolon, this is going to be syntax error. But if you mistakenly, in order to write your mobile number, you write your username, so that's going to be your logic problem. It's not the problem of compiler. So let's run it and see. Okay, so let's run it. There you go. So username, my name is Abdul Rahman, and my mobile number is 12345, and my age is, let's say, I'm gonna make myself young. Let's make it 25. So username is Abdul Rahman and user mobile number is Abdul Rahman. That's not what I wanted, isn't it? Because that's my logic error. In order to rectify the logic error, you have to go back and see. And logical errors are very difficult in order to find. So we already discussed that we're not gonna make any problem here. We know that it's a mobile number. So now I have to run it again and then I'll try to see. Okay. So Abdul Rahman and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then age is 25. So this is perfectly fine. Now you see that everything is absolutely gorgeous because we ask users to give us everything. So now you don't have to worry to write everything on your own. So this program is dynamic, slightly dynamic, where you don't write any number or any name, but you let the users to work. So we learned one thing, that in order to work with dynamic values or asking integer, or sorry, asking user to pass you the values during runtime, you have to use a method called, you have to call a class called scanner, and then you can, make its object or something. Yeah. Yeah, what is object we will discuss later, and then just pass system.in, which means during runtime from the console, the system input, and then just store into any variable. It's possible that if you don't give a variable name, then the value will not be stored anywhere. It will be there in the memory, but you will not be able to relocate it. For example, I just do like this, that I try to, oops, not this one. Yeah, terminate this one, no problem. So now I did not store username anywhere. So let's run the program and see. So it's gonna say variable username might not be initialized. So let's say I just initialize some values. Let's say I say null. So I was expecting that the null will be replaced with the latest value. For example, this Abdul Rahman and then mobile number 1, 2, 3 and then age is 25 or whatever. And then you see it is not replacing it because we took the value, but did we store it anywhere? It's like a math equation, a is equals to 2 plus 2. So a has to have some expression coming into it, right? So this assignment has to have some username. As soon as I write it, this is going to be perfectly fine. Now if I run the program, it will replace the previous value, which was null. Let's say Abdul Rahman 1, 2, 3, 4 and 25. Oops, because we have byte, so byte cannot be more than 127. That's the problem. So let's run it. Rahman 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 24. That's perfectly fine. You see it is replacing my old name. So I hope it makes some sense that you can receive the value using a scanner, but it's not necessary that you have to store. But if you don't store it, so you will not be able to relocate it, and that's the one of the beauties of using variables. So if you got any questions, so I would ask you to work on different types of variables such as floating points. So in order to use the floating point, I just give you a hint that you have to call scan dot, let's say double. So you have next double, you have next integer. So you have next integer, you have next, so you have to try to see like which, so don't worry about like if next int here, so you can pass any of them. It's not gonna be a big problem. So please do not hesitate to drop me comment if you have any. Thank you so much, guys.